So I thought we could edit together what we shot last time. Even though I've already edited it once before, I thought it'd be useful to show the process. So I'm going to go to a new sequence. And I'm going to start by importing our media. So I know that I have put the video files in an organized place. All right, so here is all my files for that. I'm just going to select all of them.
Well, it seems like a lifetime ago we're allowed to meet in groups.
So I'm going to import all of these clips, and I'm going to also look for the sound, which is all in here. So I'm just going to import this folder as well. Cool. So now in our media bin, we have a folder that has our sound files. Actually, the first thing that I do for efficiency is I match up the video files and the audio files. So this is untitled. So let's go for the next one. This is also untitled as it has no clapper, there's no slate to start the shot off.
Oh, it should have been there.
So I'm going to call that insert open book. So let's work our way down the list. All right, now here's where our clapperboard comes in handy.
Oh, I didn't know it was there.
So the really awesome thing about this is right at the start of the clip, it's already in the frame. And so I can see that it's scene 1 and it's shot 1 and it's take 1. And then I don't even have to play the clip. I can just rename it. So I'm going to go scene 1, comma, shot 1, comma, take 1. And then I'm just going to work through all of the clips like that. Scene 1, shot 1, take 2. You can see our color beginning to shift in our scene as our afternoon quickly turns to evening.
Lost all that daylight.
This is good. We don't need a good sound for this. We're shooting it.
So this is an insert. And it won't have any sound linked to it.
And cut.
So all that's happening is insert book. Same here, book open. You can see very quickly how if you're doing a much larger project, how much more important this process is to the editor, running slate and all that. Because if you're doing, like, imagine if this was one aspect of the a bigger project, which maybe was half an hour long, then this might be this much amount of data times 10.
So but you can put those files in as thumbnails. Can you put those files in especially the video part of it? You can bring those in as thumbnails so you can see what's happening on each at the beginning of each clip.
Yeah, well,
it takes up more room, of course.
I think I see what you mean. Like this.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, smart idea. So if we make this a bit bigger, go like this, you mean? Yeah, I actually hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, you can have big ones or you can have small ones. It depends, what you've got room for, but it does make it a bit easier.
Scene 1.
Yeah, super dark.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with sound, not as fast because you have to listen to it.
That's recording. And then the same with features. So we might have come around to this thing rather than start.
So obviously that's a sound test. So let's get rid of that. Right. Aha.
Roll camera. Rolling.
Shot 1, take 1.
Okay. Shot 1, take 1, and these are all scene 1. So can we see here's where the clapper board comes in?
Yeah.
The spike here.
Mhm.
So I know I can just skip straight before that and I'm going to hear that clapper board.
Shot 1, take 2.
It's really useful.
Yes, good to know.
Good day. Quite difficult to hear what she's saying. Eh?
Rolling.
Shot 3, take 1.
Shot 2, take 1. Shot 3, take 1.
3, I think.
Shot 3, take 1.
Yeah, 2. Do you think?
All right, it was 3, but never mind.
3.
It must be 3, surely, because
Could go either way.
shot 1,
You can always rename it.
2.
Oh, 3 then. Let's see what we're gonna end up with.
Well, we've already got a shot
Yeah,
2, take 1 up here.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And,
3.
and because these come through in order, in chronological order of when they're recorded.
So
Right.
should that one not be shot 3, take 1 then? That one.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Shot 3, take 1.
Yeah, I think so. You're right, John.
For once in my life.
Rolling.
I could sing that.
Don't tell me I'll get the banjo out.
Okay, cut there for a sec.
Oh God. Didn't think I'd have to re-listen to myself shouting. That's awful.
He's going to sit down. I think it was we were having a discussion over framing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I think what we wanted to do, correct me if I'm wrong, is we decided we wanted to frame this more center.
Sure. That sounds like it could be right.
And if we see this shot, it's more center now. Camera's been shifted on its tripod to be more center rather than off to the side like this,
Okay.
just for aesthetic purposes. So for the sake of it, let's take this take here.
Can you just show us what the how you cut that there, Tori? I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
software, but I'm with Vegas.
So how this works is you got in and out points, which
Mhm.
you can mark in.
Yep.
And then you can mark, say you
Yep.
want to start after the slate. I'll put my
Mhm.
in point here. And then I want to finish the shot there because I'm going to cut something else. And put my out point there. And then it's only going to take this section of the clip.
Yep.
And then I can just drag that in to wherever.
Mhm.
And then it's just that segment. But the keyboard shortcut for that is I and O for in and out. I don't know if there's a way to link audio before you put it in the sequence, but yeah.
Well, you'll have to put if it's done this way. I've only ever edited, using both sound and video footage at the same time. With a lapel mic or something like that. And
Yeah.
this is kind of different where you feed it in, so you'd have to note your in and out points on your
Sound as well.
There's a really good tool for that, which is going to auto synchronize our audio, and which is really good. Now I think what I've done here is I've just dragged the video over, which isn't what I wanted, because there's a drag video only or drag audio only.
Right.
So that's and then we decided the end is my out. So I'm just going to drag it from the actual thumbnail. There we go. Now we've
It's
got
got the audio on it as well.
That's right. Now the reason it has audio is because I've got a shotgun mic on my DSLR, which was recording audio.
Okay.
And I did that on purpose because I know that when we go to sync audio, and I'll do one now. So this is scene 1, shot 1, take 2. Let's go to our audio.
Yeah, that makes sense. It means that you're going to sync your sound, no trouble.
So I'm going to put my the good sound that I've got underneath this on another track,
Mm-hmm.
and then synchronize them.
Okay.
All right.
I've got them both selected.
Or it will make a fool of me. Who knows? Or it doesn't like
The video.
it might not like the video. So what we can do is solo this audio track. Now this window over here is a monitor for our sequence, whereas this monitor over here is a monitor for our media for when we're working left to right. I mean, you can put these windows wherever you want, but for the sake of it, we're going from media into our source monitor, into our sequence, and then that sequence is being displayed on this monitor here. And so we can listen to this audio. And compare it to our boom mic audio, which is a bit closer.
Just a couple of minutes. Do you want to be in the car?
So this clearly isn't in sync, is it?
You can see the peaks in the top one. Can you line it up with the peaks in the second one?
Well, you would think that that's where our slate comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a massive slate spike there.
There we go. There's the slate mark.
Shot 1, take 2.
Right.
So playing those together, we can tell that they're the same clip. For this one, I'll just link them. So we can just link, and now these are one thing. They move together, and they treat it as if they were the same. Yeah, which is great, because then when we make this clip shorter, it's going to make the audio shorter too.
What's the difference between linking and grouping, Tori?
What's that?
What's the difference between linking and grouping?
Linking, we're linking the audio and the video together, and grouping, I think you can group together a bunch of stuff. Like you can group together multiple videos.
Okay.
So that when you say, if you had a bunch of stuff over here and you wanted to just shuffle everything out the way so you can work on this wee bit here, you could highlight them or group them so that they move together.
Yeah.
I guess. This is
Yeah,
fun.
no, you're right.
Shot 2 is surely what we need. We've got this one here.
Shot 2, take 1.
Sorry, guys.
Frame. Action.
That was the hammer guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What is that?
A hammer.
Oh,
Someone's working on something.
ah.
Y'all's carpentry workshop.
So shot 2, take 1 is a dud. Shot 2, take 2.
Frame.
Oh, let's have a look at the next tape.
And frame. And action.
So I think what we've done here is we decided after Hazel, because I think we only had that script like, you know, on the day, so she had all the lines. So that we were going to cut there and then pick up from that next line.
Take 1.
And frame. And action.
Yeah, so these are two parts to the same shot.
And frame. Action.
Cool, so that's our in point. Head all the way through to right, so we know that basically up until here is usable. So let's drop that in. And then our next clip, I'm just going to go quite quickly so that we can just get our timeline assembled and then link our audio and see how it looks, rather than if we were to do this really well, we'd want to measure up each take and all that stuff. So I think we'll try and stick with this clip, as you can tell on a you know, this footage is starting to deteriorate because we're getting lower light levels. So this is actually a really much cleaner clip. And if we have an issue with it, then we can change it out. Not that that should be the complete, I think that should be the last reason you should choose one take over the other, because hopefully you won't have any technical issues like that. But here we are, it's just practicing, you know. Then we've got inserts of book and book being open. And we've also got, all right, some new angles.
And frame. Action.
Here's where it gets annoying and complex, is we've already got one angle here, the whole thing. And then we're going to try and like put this on top or find a way for this to work in with the workflow. We might just put this over here for now. Then we've got this angle here. Okay, for this one, it's good to have that other angle, but we can tell that the footage is, you know, if we look at those two different, this one and this one, they completely don't match. And we can try and pump it up and rescue it, but honestly, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to put that into the footage because we already have enough of Hazel's performance in the wide shot, and the person that we're focusing on for emotional effect is it Maria?
Yeah.
Inserts. This is where inserts come in handy. We've got a shot here. It needs to cut to that, but it's unnatural. So what we might do is put that book opening clip, this one here, over top of this one.
And action.
So I'm going to take it from there. So we're already into the motion. Give us some time reading. And we're going to put that on top. It depends what editing software you use, but in Premiere, when you put something on top, it is priority. So as this plays, whatever we put on top will show up over top, if you like. If you think of it like, if you've used Photoshop, then it's kind of like layers. It's the same way. So we're going to put that in there, and then that doesn't cut well, does it? So we're going to move some things. I think this is where track forward tool comes in handy, because we can just move everything over. Cool. So now we've got that insert to bridge the divide between those cuts. Here, sitting down, opening the book. So yeah, just using the insert to bridge the divide. Next one, we've got 2 half takes that we're trying to splice together. You can see the issue there. So we're going to chuck in another insert.
The rest of that one, the next bit that you're going into there, Tori, is the bit where Hazel left the Sharpie on the step. It's going to magically appear now.
All right.
Everybody keep an eye out for that. Way, magic Sharpie! Maybe we should make a magic Sharpie appear in all of our shorts.
Sounds good.
I like it.
Okay, so we've got a full take, a full film, if you like, from start to finish. That basically is just focusing on our wide shot, and then we can just start to make creative decisions about when or where is appropriate. Put in single here of her, and I think generally a rule of thumb is you always step into a scene, so you go from establishing shot into a wide shot, and then it's more natural to come in a bit closer as you go, and sort of treat the more dramatic moments in singles, rather than, you know, if she's got some nice reaction in here.
My name's Scout, by the way. I'm Jay.
Then we want all that juicy stuff from this frame, rather than just playing it from here. Seems a bit like lackluster. So I think appropriate step now is to link our audio before we go any further. And when we try and color grade this footage, you can only move it slightly because there's no other data for it to get. So as soon as you start trying to color grade compressed video, it just falls apart on you.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah. All right, so we've got all that audio linked. Well, not linked. But what we need to do is, I think we'll just do an audio comparison now, so I can get rid of this old audio, just so you can see or hear. Scrub through to some lines.
Too cold, Becky.
Dark
Yeah.
order, isn't
No,
it?
I was getting eaten alive.
And then this is our boom mic.
You like fantasy? Oh, Harry Potter. Have you read that one before?
So obviously way more audible for Hazel, but we are still getting that wind affecting the boom that you can hear.
Oh, Harry Potter. Have you read that one before?
So yeah, if like this was a film that I was putting into a festival or something, I would want to redub that track because it's too messy.
Your friends read too.
All right, and you can see there where our audio is peaking. You see on the sound wave, it's completely maxed out the top there. So it's clipping, and a good sound recordist will try to stop that from happening. And so probably this was recorded a little bit too high, and that the gain needed to be turned down a wee bit, because you can see, well, we're getting okay levels here, but the peaks are really dangerously close to the top here.
Yeah.
I would just want to back off on the mic level so that you don't risk this happening. And you can see on our audio here, it's tapping out the top, and you're getting that distortion, which is not very nice, is it? Cool. So let's unlink all of this old audio that we're not going to use, unlink, and delete it all. Goodbye. I think these inserts don't have audio, dedicated audio to them. All right, that's a bit easier to look at, isn't it? Okay. 2 more things we need to do before we finish. We need to put this single in where it's appropriate, and we need to color match the footage. We probably won't use the front end of this footage because the emotional impact isn't till like later, where she's talking and we're getting all these nice reaction shots from her. So those are the things that we want to put in on this single. But there's no use, we don't need a lot of this stuff in here because we're going to use the right shot for the right job. You know, this shot over here is focused on her. And if we just play the whole film like that, for argument's sake, we're only going to see her reaction. We don't understand what else is happening. And this shot here is showing the distance between them. We're getting that nice shuffle over, like she's feeling uncomfortable, and then she's moving it a bit closer. So we want to keep all of that, but then cut to, in this second half, cut in where she's talking about, you know, when I was at school, I had in the library and all that. So I'm actually going to make this clip a bit shorter and figure out, here's all those nice reaction shots. And they start about there. I'm going to put that on top.
No.
So I think, personally, as a taste thing, I think we push in on that question.
It's like reading.
So I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to find that question in the other footage.
In the library at your age, I used to read all day. Your friends like to read too.
Cool. See how that cuts together.
No.
Cool. And from here, we're going to put some cuts in.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that was a lovely bit of acting, actually.
So I might bring it back to a wide after this.
Every at your age.
I can tell that's a wee bit out of sync because the pacing's different.
I used to hide away in the library at your age. I used to read all day. School was rough. But I could be anyone I wanted. I could be anyone. Day. School was rough. School.
All right. Let's cut this in here.
School was rough. But I could be anyone I wanted. I could be anyone.
All right, who's saying what?
But I could be anyone I wanted in the story.
I think, just on a side note, one of the cool things about this reaction shot is we can choose which audio clip we want to take. So if we like how Hazel was delivering it in this shot,
But I could be anyone I wanted in the story.
versus how she's delivering it in this shot,
School was rough. I could be anyone in the story.
then we can choose which audio because it doesn't matter because we're not showing her. So
School was rough. I could be anyone in the story.
then it feels kind of natural to cut back there again, to me. What do you guys think?
No, I agree.
Yep.
Because we sort of, and if we had that, if that other shot of Hazel was in good condition, we'd probably just cut from one to the other.
Mm. Yeah, I know.
Scout, by the way.
So I think maybe we can let this kind of play out in wide because we want to show her scratching away there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I help you?
All right, here's where things get real tricky because we've got to take here where we've got to put an insert of the bookmark in. This one, not that one. Insert bookmark, because we're showing this information that this is what she's written on the bookmark. So we need to figure out a way of getting this in here, and you're very quickly going to see the how important the role of script supervisor is, because the inconsistencies in these take are making it really difficult to edit together, and I'll show you. So she's handing over the bookmark and John's entered frame.
Yes.
And if you listen to the audio, so what's happening with this bookmark take is the take starts with the book open and the bookmark already in there. So we've somehow got to go from...
Thank you.
Can I help you?
You see the problem?
Yes, I do.
So we have to butcher it in some way to make this work. And the way we're going to do that, well, the way that I'm going to do it is we're going to cut John's audio out.
Thank you.
Can I help?
Here it is. So we're going to unlink this audio. Which is going to cause another issue where we don't have audio. We need to insert some ambient noise.
Thank you.
Can I help?
All right. Now we're zoning in on that clip.
Thank you.
Cool. And then we can get to her opening her book. There we go. She's opened her book. She's put the bookmark in it. And we can put our insert in there. So hopefully that will cut together visually quite nicely.
Perfect. Keep it right there.
Not quite. Her bookmark's on the other side. So yeah, see in this take, she takes the bookmark, sticks it in, closes the book, and then leaves. And if we had rehearsed that more, then obviously she would take the bookmark and then have a look at it, and then put it away and leave, so that it makes sense. That's such as, and I think this is why if you're directing a short film, you should edit the short film too, or you should be sitting in on the editing process, because you start to really understand the how what you shoot on the day impedes the final product. Because now what we're doing, and we don't want to be doing it, is we're making cuts to make something work technically, make it work from shot to shot, where rather than making cuts because it's an intentional choice, it's a pacing thing or a creative decision. And so we're kind of editing this based on process of elimination of what takes we couldn't use and what audio we can't use and what take matches up with this take, and then you're just the final vision is left at the whim of the mistakes and the errors, and you'll get whatever performance happens to cut together, not whatever performance you wanted in the end, which is a shame. So I'm going to stick in her bookmark insert probably there, and sort of just hope that it splices together, you know. And we're going to also find a bit of ambient noise in here. So I know I can use that segment. Where's our patch? Here we go. Patch our hole. And we can copy and paste this. Have a few sort of overlapping if we need to. Also see John stepping down in that clip, so we might have to bring this a wee bit earlier. And also she's getting up. So just pretend that she notices John of her own accord. And then we need John's audio clip in there to cue the next part. So,
can I help you?
anyway.
Can I help you?
I actually really want that clip, that audio clip, to come in a bit sooner.
While she's looking at the bookmark.
That's all right. So it's the cue for the cut almost.
Can I help?
There we go.
Can I help you? You. Can I help you? You.
Yeah, so, and then with the audio, we'll tidy that up and, you know, fade the end off one audio clip and sort of, if you like, I'll do one example, but I won't do them all because it's a wee bit time consuming. For example, this section, fade this audio in. So one's going up as the other, they seesaw into each other.
What was rough?
And then it feels a bit, you know, seamless. Cool. Last thing before we finish is color matching. And there's a really awesome tool to do it, in Premiere that is. We've got all these color tools over here, which is great, but the first thing I want to do is match in all these clips that are taken at different times of day. They're all, you know, this one's quite magenta compared to this. Even the color between these two takes is quite different. And this color in here is like warmer and more magenta and darker. And of course, warmer and more magenta and darker there. So I'm going to want this to be in.
What's that one up there? Third from the bottom on the right.
Color wheels and match.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Comparison view. Oh, yeah, this might be it. And so this is the clip that we're going to match into this one. And all we need to do is go up to here and hit apply match.
Where's match? Right.
Just up here. So it reckons it's matched. And then we just do that for all the clips. See how magenta this is compared to this? Apply match.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, cool, hey. Super dope.
So sorry, I missed the start of that. Did you have to select an area of the picture and say match this against this?
This one here
Mm-hmm.
has this is like a thing of your timeline.
Yeah.
So we can scrub through the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then we just essentially stop on a frame that we're happy with. So if we decide that this is our reference, then and then down here in our sequence, we're going through and we're selecting. See this thumbnail's changing?
Yeah.
Because this is our sequence and this is our reference that's picked out from our sequence. And you can apply that, or I think it's unapplying that.
Right.
Right, so you can see that the stonework's matched in now. This one you can see is a wee bit brighter.
Yeah.
That's pretty nifty.
It's great, and just watch what it does to these darker clips.
Wow.
So it can kind of rescue her clip, but not. When I was editing this the other time, it couldn't really. It could save Hazel's clip, but it was quite destroyed by the end of it. And I think you'll see this clip here will start to deteriorate as we bring up the exposure. Oh, whoops. I want this clip.
Cool.
So even though it's technically matched in, I think we'll start to see a lot of noise. So you pause the video. All right, so here you can see all of this noise in here. I'm just going to make this full screen.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, oops.
But that's a darkness thing too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's like that's a darkness thing. So you can see all that breakup happening, and breakup on the bookmark and the breakup on the whites of your page. So not enough light is hitting the sensor, and it's unrecoverable because the camera's already converted the video and compressed it. So there's no data there to tap into. So the light, anyway, like the light's not hitting. We're not getting enough light on the sensor. The camera's having to boost the signal and just multiply it by 16 or 32 times, and we get all this signal noise. And that's avoided by either having good lighting on set. So if we were to shoot at an earlier time of day, that would have been our most practical way of fixing that issue. If we shot at, say, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., then we would have had consistent lighting. Or bring lights on set. Or, you know, lots of cameras that come out are sort of reviewed on their low light performance and how well they can maintain a clean image at low light. And obviously this is not a camera that can do that very well. Cool. Shall we have a look at our finished sequence?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yay.
See if I can get this to, there we go. Can you see that?
Yep, you can see that.
Yep. Just be a couple of minutes. Do you want to wait in the car?
And it's stuttering on us. So we'll drop this down to half quality. As soon as you add any color effects, it's a lot more intensive on the computer.
Oh, it's right over here.
Hope you'll see it.
What are you reading? I just started reading this. The Spook's Mistake. It's about an evil water witch. You like fantasy? Harry Potter. Have you read that one before? Oh, I won't spoil it for you then. Do your friends read too? Your friends like to read too?
Oops.
It's okay.
No. I used to hide away in the library at your age. I used to read all day. School was rough. Be anyone in the story. I'm Scout, by the way. Thank you.
Can I help you?
I think I'll stick to animation.
Well done.
That gives you an idea of, I guess, basically how the anyway, I just wanted to give you an idea of how the audio and the video can be synced together, and the importance of that clapperboard and the comparison between the onboard camera audio and our designated external audio, and sort of that stepping in process between takes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
Yes, it
Tori.
was.